I'm Kristen Schrefferman, Sparks Executive Director, and I am so thrilled to welcome you to our 2022 Wine and Dine fundraising event. Thank you for being here tonight and supporting our mission to provide sustainable solutions to lift communities out of poverty and empower future leaders in Zambia, Nicaragua, Mexico, and right here in Chicago. In just a few moments, I'll introduce you to Master Sommelier Joseph Spellman, who is one of only 269 Master Somms in the entire world. He'll lead you through the wine tasting. Then at 7 p.m. Central Time, the program will begin. You'll hear some inspiring stories about the impact of your support, have the opportunity to contribute to some life-changing programs, and bid on some amazing auction items. To finish the evening, Chicago's house music queen, DJ Lady D, will join us live to get you up and out of your seats. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Master Somm, Joseph Spellman. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be with you all this evening in this remote way, to be able to do this wine tasting of Justin Vineyards and Winery, three of our top wines from Paso Robles, California, and a zone of great impact and interest over the last several years. We'll be tasting this evening the Justin Sauvignon Blanc, the Justin Rosé, and the Justin Cabernet Sauvignon. All three of these are among our top sellers nationwide in the United States, and we are wonderfully well represented in the restaurant world, the retail world, and by our own wine society, where we sell wine direct to members all over the country. If you're interested in that, look at justinwine.com after the event, and you may find more interesting wines that you'd like to try. Yes, I am Joe Spellman. I've been a Chicagoan for almost my entire life and was a sommelier in the fine dining world here in numerous great restaurants, including Charlie Trotter's. And I've been with Justin Vineyards for the past 14 years. And lately doing a lot of these kinds of tastings from my makeshift studio basement. But this way I get to show off behind me our main winery building, our visitor center, which has a restaurant, tasting room, and 4 very beautiful, luxurious inn rooms as well. So our winery is in far western Paso Robles, El Paso de Robles, as it was originally known, and so named by Franciscan missionaries in the 18th century. It has a long history with grape growing, particularly beginning in the mid-1860s, and the development of multiple red wine varieties throughout the region that ended up being kind of foundational wines for the rest of California. And eventually, Paso Robles became a little bit more sophisticated. By the 1970s, there was a big renaissance occurring, and Paso Robles became one of the leading zones for big red wines in California. So our winery was founded by a gentleman named Justin Baldwin. Justin is very active still with the winery, although he's handed over the reins of actual management and ownership to the wonderful company, a family-owned operation. And we are very proud to have grown quite a bit these last 12 years with the wonderful company, continuing our specialties in multiple red wine blends, which were Justin Baldwin's dream wines, starting in the in year 1981 when he acquired the land in far western Paso Robles. He had a good hunch that this was good soil to grow these red grapes because it reminded him of Bordeaux, very rocky. There's some elevation. There's a lot of quality factors in the soil having to do with a high degree of calcareous material with a limestone base. It's a very dry region, even though it's very close to the Pacific Ocean. And because we're elevated, there's a great opportunity for us to bring in moisture from the ocean during the winter, but rarely during the growing season from about this time of year, April through early November. All of Justin's wines, his goals back in 1981 were to make wines with a French style. And the French grape varieties that dominated then, continue to dominate in California wine production. Cabernet Sauvignon being the driving variety for Paso Robles, but with the growing interest and development of Rhone varieties like Syrah and Grenache and many others, and kind of a surprising development with Sauvignon Blanc in a few spots, which we'll be tasting in just a moment, and quite a few other white Rhone varieties, and of course, a long history with another famous red variety called Zinfandel, which we don't really work with too much at Justin, not being a French variety, actually. So because we think place matters, the region, which again is fairly warm, does ripen red grapes really well. But we also have to find other places to supplement our progression of blending in the production of our Sauvignon Blanc. So that is why the first wine we're going to be tasting this evening, the Sauvignon Blanc, has the or the appellation of Central Coast. That means it can be sourced not only from Paso Robles, which quite a bit of the fruit is, particularly from the Templeton Gap, a very cool part of Paso Robles in that calcareous soil, but also from Monterey and Santa Barbara County, which are our two neighboring counties. So Paso Robles is exactly halfway in the Central Coast between the big cities of San Francisco and Los Angeles, and about 200 miles from each of those. California is an awfully long coastline, and that Central Coast comprises 400 really interesting miles of river valleys, hillsides, and mountains, and interesting rock formations. Quite an amazing place. So quality factors at Justin. One thing that we really think is important is that all of our grapes are hand harvested. We do no mechanical harvesting, and that goes for our Sauvignon Blanc as well as our major red wines like our Cabernet Sauvignon. Not only hand harvested over a series of 8 weeks in most autumns, but also hand sorted and carefully berry selected to make every wine. Now, the white wines are made by crushing or pressing, whole clusters and making that grape juice into a stainless steel tank that is then fermented, and it's quite crisp and fresh. The idea there is to make sure that we allow the ripeness to not be interfered with too many other aromas and flavors. And we also want to make sure that the wines remain very tart. So our first wine, our Sauvignon Blanc, which is where we're going to begin, after we've poured it. Justin likes to talk about how the important components of wine tasting involve the 5 S's. You have to see the wine, swirl the wine, sniff the wine, sip the wine, and then savor the wine. Think about it a moment. I like to think the 6th S is to smile after you've had a taste too. So maybe we can do that now. We're looking at this wine, hoping that it'll be clear and fresh and lively, and it is, almost colorless. Sauvignon Blanc tends to have very little color unless it's spent some time in barrels. This wine spends no time at all in barrel. And one thing that we really want to emphasize is freshness, as I said. So we're going to give this wine a swirl and bring it to our nose and see what we've agitated in the wine, those esters and aromas that might remind us of different fruits, different flowers, different spices. Yes, that swirling really activated that wine beautifully. I'm getting a lot of citrus zest, lemon, maybe not quite as aggressive as lime, and almost a sweet citrus aroma like tangerine. And then there's a nice green apple component to the wine. These are really fresh, lively, fruit-driven aromas. There's maybe a bit of a white flower petal aroma. And as we bring it to the nose again, breathing that wine in, you really get a sense of that sort of almost tropical, almost melon-like character that can come as the wine warms up. Now, hopefully you've started these wines fairly cool, and as they warm in the glass, they will display more and more complexity and more richness and more openness and make you desire consuming them with nice food. I always think Sauvignon Blanc is ideal with items like goat cheeses, ceviches, almost all manner of cold or even warm shellfish, a plate of just simple raw oysters, and it can go deeper into the menu with like tapas, vegetable-driven flavors, and certainly main course entrees of lighter fish and poultry items. Now, one quick note on flavors, and especially this is true with Sauvignon Blanc, which tends to be lean and light and dependent on crispness and acidity. You really want to have flavors that don't get in the way. And so I always advise to be very careful with leafy greens, whether that's salad greens or vegetable greens. They're very tough flavors to pair with Sauvignon Blanc or pretty much any white or red wine of dry character. Uh, Particularly, one of the most difficult flavors for wine is artichoke. And if you've had an artichoke and a sip of wine, you know what I'm talking about. It can be quite aggressive, can almost denude the wine of flavor and fruit. Another big danger I find in tasting wines is pickled items. So anything with a lot of vinegar, whether that's sauerkraut or pickles or jalapenos even that have been in a brine with a lot of vinegar, those can be tough flavors. Anything with mustard on it, that can be a nice accent, but it can sometimes get in the way. So anything with a lot of vinegar is a big challenge to wine. And finally, extreme spice, that is very hot, spicy flavors can be very complicated for most wines. Sometimes extremely sweet flavors too. All the wines we're tasting today are dry wines with clean flavors, brightness, good acidity. And so they don't go very well with desserts or other sweet flavors. So let's have another quick taste of the Sauvignon Blanc. Aerating it over the palate, giving us a sense of how that fills the mouth, touching all those taste buds, really bracing wine. You can feel the acidity at the top and sides of the tongue. And it's a very fresh, dry, lively, youthful, and very attractive wine. Our winemaker, Scott Shirley, likes to say this is made more in the New Zealand style than, say, the Bordeaux style or the Loire style, which are probably the three most prominent and best known sources for great Sauvignon Blanc worldwide. But now we believe California has certainly taken its place as one of the top zones for Sauvignon Blanc anywhere in the world. All right. Well, I think now it is time to move on quickly before we get to the other two wines. Take a moment to hear from the Sparks auctioneer, John Walcher. John, take it away.
I hope you're all enjoying your wine. It's so fun to celebrate with you tonight. If you haven't already, text SPARK22 to 76278 to check out our mobile bidding platform. You can purchase a raffle ticket to win your very own Lululemon home workout mirror, silent and live auction items, including Lollapalooza tickets, high-end wines, and an opportunity to get away on a vacation, which we know we all deserve. And of course, there will be opportunities to contribute to Sparks' mission. Now, back over to Joseph.
Great. Thank you, John. Great opportunity that everyone's going to have to participate in tonight's activities after we enjoy these wines. So I hope you all enjoyed the Sauvignon Blanc on its own and can imagine it with great food. Maybe you're having a nice snack with it right now. We're going to move on to our rosé. Rosé, of course, well, ubiquitous these days. Who doesn't love rosé? We've been working with rosé for several years at Justin because it is a red wine lover's white wine, so to speak. It is usually made from 100% red grapes, although there are exceptions. And those red grapes give the wine this very delicate tinge of color. It can range anywhere from a very light orange to a deep magenta. And a rosé is a delicate wine in large part because you're taking red grapes and pressing juice out of them, but leaving that juice in brief contact with the skins of the grapes. What's in the skins of the grapes? Lots of flavors, some bitterness, but wonderful aromatics that make rosé an exciting wine for modern culinary pairings. A little more broad-based than our Sauvignon Blanc was, and pink wines, as I always have called them, can certainly be very versatile. Again, our wine is dry. We'll get to that in a moment. but we still want to do the same as we do with the Sauvignon Blanc. See, swirl, sniff, sip, and savor before we smile after tasting it. And let's have a look at it. This is a very delicate pink color, almost a little bit of a coral note to it. And it's got a really delightful freshness in the nose and palate, as you'll see. So quite clear and clean. Aromatically, this wine gives us a nice floral note. Rose petal comes to mind, maybe a little less citrusy than what we found in the aromas of our Sauvignon Blanc. But definitely there's a bit of a red fruit note too. Cranberry, Bing cherry, and perhaps beyond that, there you might find a little bit of a peppery note. And that's because this wine is based on the very important red wine variety, Syrah. Now, Syrah has very thick, very dark skins, but when you press the juice, which runs clear, you have a very clean, light-looking wine, unless you are, again, keeping it in contact with the skins and giving it just the slightest tinge. So this wine's about 80% Syrah and about 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. And again, it's a Central Coast appellation. So this fruit comes from 3 different counties in that Central Coast. Paso Robles at the center of that. To the north is Monterey, and to the south, Santa Barbara County is a very small component of this wine. We do have great Syrah all over Paso Robles, just as we do have great Cabernet all over Paso Robles. Again, it does well in the warm climate. It develops great spice, and as a red wine can be a beautiful black fruit driven wine. As a white wine or a pink wine, this wine is going to give us far less of that black berry or black cassis character and give us a lot more delicacy. And as we put that wine to the nose again, yes, that berry-like note comes up in a very young rosé. And as we taste it, aerate it, let it cover the mouth. Well, a little more substantial wine structurally than we experienced with Sauvignon Blanc. And again, that's because of that skin contact that gives the wine a lot more body and structure. It's quite a dry wine, and it finishes very deeply on the palate. That is, this could be a great wine for all manner of roast poultry, even some beautiful mushroom-based dishes would be great, grain dishes. And I find that rosé is quite versatile with almost anything on the grill too, whether that is lighter meats or grilled fish. A little more spice and deftness here, I think, than you might get from a red Syrah, and a lot more clean and lean at the back palate. So quite a fun wine. And both these wines are very reasonably priced and are generally pretty broadly available, particularly the Sauvignon Blanc. We don't nearly make as much rosé as we make Sauvignon Blanc or Cabernet Sauvignon, which is our lead variety. So that one will be next. I think it's time for me to rotate up my bottle here and pour myself a glass. Now, if you haven't gotten this open in advance, be careful with that corkscrew. Make sure you get the cork all the way extracted and then give it a pour. Now, we're going to look at Cabernet in the same way we did with our white wine and our pink wine. That is, look at the color, give it a swirl, take a whiff of it, sip it a couple of times maybe, and then figure out what we're going to do with it with our meal if we're looking toward having it with dinner. I really think Cabernet Sauvignon has a reputation of being big and brawny and, well, in some cases expensive if you're in the Napa Valley or Bordeaux in some places. But in Paso Robles, because our growing conditions are a little less famous, I suppose you could say, as well as being a little more diverse, the cost of fruit and maintaining our vineyards is not nearly what it is in a place like Napa. So this Cabernet Sauvignon can be very reasonably priced. And because Cabernet Sauvignon often speaks to people as being a very huge, dense, tannic, where's the grilled steak sort of wine, this wine surprises people. Cabernet Sauvignon does not have to be a huge wine. And again, Scott Shirley, our winemaker, really believes drinkability is important, featuring the great style of Paso Robles fruit That is, it is a fruit-driven wine. We have great color in this wine. It's almost opaque. And the fruit in Paso Robles, because it gets very warm, can be very ripe. But we're very careful about our picking timings to make sure that we get different fruit from different parts of different vineyards. And we work with over 36 different vineyards in the region, 6 of which we own outright, and another 30 or so that we buy fruit from to assemble this wine every year. So it's very important for us to show that ripe, classic Paso style of fruit that's very open and juicy, and yet still a very dry wine. This has full body. We're not shy with getting full ripeness and getting fully fermented to give you that sense of richness on the palate. We have soft enough tannins that the wine can be consumed young. This is a 2019, so this wine's 2 years or so in the after production, and it's showing a lot of great fruit and not particularly robust and powerful tannins. So it's not bitter at all, and it's a great match for all manner of red meats, proteins, cow's milk cheeses of various sorts, and it's quite versatile, even with more fun family fare, with spiced up pizzas, with spaghetti and meatballs, with a nice pasta of some sort. We love it in a lot of Italian restaurants. It's done very, very well. And there's something about the style of this fruit that really appeals to that kind of culinary world. So one thing that's interesting about our wine is it ages only in American oak, whereas a lot of the more expensive Cabernets and tacos too, I love it. A lot of the more famous wines in Napa and of course Bordeaux are going to be aged in French oak. Ours is American oak and mostly older oak. So we'll use our barrels for several years so that we don't impact the wine too heavily with those new oak aromas and flavors. Whereas our white wine and our pink wine, no barrels whatsoever. This wine does spend about 14 months in American oak, but only about 25% of that new. So what does that do to the wine? Well, it gives it a nice open vanilla aroma in addition to the bright fruit. That cherry note is quite forward, raspberry perhaps. Quite often Paso Robles wines are thought to be a little bit jammy, although I think right now this wine is not as jammy as some wines in the region can be. But as I say, as we look at it and we see that opaque, dark, beautiful ruby color, it's really an inviting wine. And as we swirl it, even far away from my nose, I'm getting the aromas 6 to 10 inches away coming out of the glass. And as we taste it, it just coats the palate very nicely. It is quite dry. It really demands a little bit of food, doesn't it? I really would like a nice piece of cow's milk cheese right now, or my favorite, some blue cheese, which can be quite intense. But of course, as I said, the classic pairing and our classic use in restaurants around the country is in the steak world. And if you don't do steak, there's plenty of other dishes that our style of Cabernet can do well with. Grilled salmon, a nice lamb chop would be great. One of my favorites, and Scott Shirley's favorites as well. And you're not going to be afraid of using a lot of herbs with this wine because it is flavorful. And that's part of the goal of what we do in Paso Robles, is deliver flavor as we're doing on the table. And if you do have a chance to come out and visit Paso Robles, one of the more interesting and growing and dynamic regions for wine production in California, make sure you come out west. We're the westernmost winery in the region, about 15 miles west of the town of Paso Robles. And it is a rolling and beautiful countryside, lots of agriculture going on still. We like to feel like we've been stewards of great vineyards for close to just over 40 years now. And we are continuing to grow, make great wine at our original winery in Western Paso Robles, at our newer facility just north of town, where we can handle a lot more fruit from all over Paso Robles. It's a 40-mile wide zone and a 30-mile deep zone. So there's a lot of land developed for vineyards these days. And again, we have a beautiful tasting room, not only at the winery, but also right on the square of downtown Paso Robles. and we serve food at both places, beautiful restaurant at the winery, and more of a tasting menu into the downtown region. And then certainly you can look at our website at justinwine.com and learn a lot more. There are videos there from Justin Baldwin and Scott Shirley. We have a wide range of information and very detailed tasting notes from my colleague Jim Jarek Harris there, and a lot to learn. And you will really enjoy learning more about Paso Robles if you come see us at justinwine.com. And if you're interested in joining our wine society, you can address that to jennifer.adams@justinwine.com. Jennifer is great with our customer outreach and making sure that everybody is taken care of with all their wine love and interest. So I certainly hope you've enjoyed our tasting. I've had a great time tasting these wines, as I do so often with professionals and with great wine lovers like you all. Now, let's get to the wine and other items auction and see what the evening will bring. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Joseph and Justin Vineyards and Winery for kicking off our event with such an amazing experience. At this time, we invite you to refill your glass and text SPARK22 to 76278 to bid, donate, and enter the raffle. Stay logged on. We'll be right back to welcome you into Spark's program in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Spark Ventures would not be who we are today without the strong connections and bonds we've created over the years. Staying connected in purpose and spirit, despite not being able to travel or gather in person, has allowed the Spark community to increase our impact around the world. Thanks to your generous support, we are able to provide funding for life-changing programs and projects. Los Tias in Nicaragua is caring for over 150 children and teens by providing educational, social, emotional, and nutritional support. And they are empowering 130 entrepreneurs with microloans and providing vocational programs that equip graduates with materials they need to earn an income. At Entre Amigos in Mexico, at-risk youth are participating in a new tutoring program providing additional support for children who fell behind during remote learning. Their women entrepreneurs are partnering with the local hotel to increase their income and generate program revenue by creating handmade treasures from recycled materials for hotel guests. Hope Community School in Zambia is continuing to empower their community with education, healthcare, nutrition, and jobs. Their programming supporting parents and guardians is having a generational impact. 450 students and vulnerable families are receiving extra supplies of food to combat the severe levels of food insecurity. Fresh produce from Hope's Farm is contributing to improved nutrition. iGrow Chicago in West Englewood has transformed into We Grow, a beautiful collaboration of direct service providers working to grow the community from surviving to thriving. This past summer, Spark supported their Kids on the Move summer camp, which gave children a safe place to learn, grow, and build relationships. In a community where 70% of residents don't have an internet connection at home, generous Spark donors helped bridge the digital divide by building a new computer lab to support after-school learning, community education, and employment searches. We are continuing to build connections in purpose and spirit with a greatly expanded focus on equipping all of our partners with technology resources to support their participation in an increasingly digital world. Because of you, we supplied 35 new computers to our partners, and we spent 500 volunteer hours on Zoom providing tutoring and computer literacy lessons. Spark's mission of providing sustainable solutions to poverty and empowering future leaders is not one that can be accomplished alone. Across the many programs and initiatives we're proud to be a part of, the work of hundreds of dedicated individuals contributes to the powerful, positive change. Every one of these individuals is connected with one another, both in purpose and in spirit, united for the common good. We're honored that so many of you generously choose to support our mission and invite everyone to become a part of the impact it has on so many lives around the world.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sparks Wine and Dine. My name is Julie Cook, and I'm honored to serve on Sparks Board of Directors.
And I'm Kevin Cook. Julie and I are longtime Spark supporters, event committee members, and Spark travelers. We're excited to be co-hosting tonight. Thank you so much for joining us and staying connected in purpose and spirit. Now we'd like to welcome our partners from around the world.
Charles and Margaret from Hope Community School in Zambia.
Hey, Charles and Margaret.
Hi.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And we have the Tias, Candida, Husta, Yamalet, and Nelson. Hi.
Hola.
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 We have Sarah from Entre Amigos in Mexico.
Hi.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hello.
And finally, we have Shelly and Cecile from We Grow in West Englewood, Chicago. Hey, Shelly and Cecile.
What an incredible group of leaders. We're so excited they're able to join this evening. We're equally excited that all of you are here to celebrate the life-changing work we're doing. Spark holds a very special place in our hearts, and our firsthand experience with our partners has shown us the incredible impact we can have. This is a great time to step back, breathe, and honor all that we've been able to accomplish. Sometimes we're so focused on the details and the day-to-day work, we don't recognize greatness as it's happening. So tonight, we'd like to take a moment to take that breath, to listen and learn from those impacted.
Speaking of greatness, tonight you'll hear stories from our partners who will relay how Spark has impacted their lives. It's an honor to support the important work that they're doing, providing 65 jobs, education for almost 700, healthcare and nutrition for 600, over 160 microloans, and vocational skills training for over 50 people, all while providing safe spaces filled with hope, happiness, and love. It's the overwhelming response of supporters like you that continues to sustain and empower us. Cheers to you for helping us have a world-changing impact.
Before we jump into the program, we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and click on the chat icon at the bottom of the screen and let us know where you're at. Keep on using the chat box. If you have any troubles, just message Spark Ventures. Do we have any locations?
Austin, Texas, Kansas City, Del Mar, California, Naperville, Illinois, people coming in from everywhere. So just wonderful. It's great to have such a wonderful community supporting Spark. Thank you so much. While you're at it, tag us on social media with a photo of how you're celebrating tonight, and you'll be entered into a drawing to win some Spark swag.
Finally, add some fun to your Zoom box by using one of our custom backgrounds. The link is in the chat.
Let's take a moment to hear from our favorite auctioneer, John Walter, who will tell us about tonight's auction and how you can contribute to our work.
Hello, it's nice to see all of you joining us for another amazing Spark event. Text Spark 22 now to 76278 and register to join our bidding platform where you'll be able to use your phone to donate, bid, and buy raffle tickets. Be sure to enable the auto bid feature so your bid will automatically be increased each time someone bids against you up to your maximum amount. Tonight, we have lots of amazing items, and our raffle prize is a Lululemon mirror, which will bring world-class workouts into your home. Tickets are only $40, and you can get 3 for $100. The raffle and premium auction winners will be drawn at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and the silent auction ends at 8:30 p.m. Central Time tonight. Now, more about the premium items. First, how about this item for all the tequila lovers out there? Here's your chance to win a bottle of Tesla tequila. This exclusive small batch premium 100% de agave tequila añejo is aged for 15 months in French oak barrels and comes in a hand-blown glass bottle. This unique tequila has a dry fruit and light vanilla nose with a balanced cinnamon pepper finish. It will be the highlight of any fiesta, and our current leading bid is $600. Next, Mother's Day is next month. Look no further for the perfect gift. This dainty 14-karat white gold necklace from Sophia Day is 16 inches long and features over 3/4 carat sparkling diamonds. Let your love shine. Our current leading bid is already up to $1,500. And we have a South Carolina Isle of Palms vacation home. Nestled among a row of vibrant boardwalk homes and just a short walk from the ocean is this beautiful 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom home. Immerse yourself in a full resort experience for 1 week with easy access to golf, tennis, a swimming pool, spa, restaurants, a family fun park, and beaches, and much more. Our current leading bid is already up to $2,500. And last but not least, we have a 1-week getaway to a lovely Deer Valley townhome in Utah. Located just a 5-minute drive from Park City's historic Main Street, this stunning 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom penthouse home boasts 14-foot floor-to-ceiling windows, framing magnificent views of Deer Valley's resort slopes. You'll love the spacious great room and outdoor gathering areas, featuring a fire pit and hot tub, situated mere steps away from miles of mountain hikes. Close to all that Park City has to offer, outdoor concerts, biking, fly fishing, and numerous shops and restaurants. Our current leading bid is already at $5,000. Let's see where this will go tonight. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Spark's Executive Director, Kristen Schepferman. Kristen?
Thank you, John. And hello, everyone. Spark's work is made possible because of you. Thanks to Spark's Board of Directors, Events Committee, Associate Board, and our small but mighty team. Thanks to our dedicated supporters who continue to show up at our events, whether we're in a lovely venue or in a tiny Zoom box. And last but not least, thank you to our generous sponsors, the John P. Harney Trust, Dean Houston, David Team, Fusion Risk Management, Justin Vineyards and Winery, our anonymous donor, and of course, Long Grove Confectionery. We are all here tonight because Rich Johnson, Scott Barbeau, and Dan Marcus went on a journey to Africa 16 years ago. Now I invite you to watch the special interview reflecting on that trip and the words that inspired the creation of Spark Ventures.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rich Johnson. I'm one of the co-founders of Spark Ventures. I'm here today with Charles and Margaret Mumba from Zambia. As many of you know, Spark was born in 2006 after a journey to Africa. And while we were in Zambia, we met Charles and Margaret Mumba and a group of vulnerable children that they were caring for. They were providing staff and supplies, healthcare, education. And when Scott, Dan, and I arrived in Zambia, we were there with really the intention of, could we do some manual labor and support with some construction that was happening? But we soon realized that those jobs really belonged to people in the community, and that began us on a search for how we could contribute in a meaningful way. And a pivotal moment happened in the middle of the trip. We were riding in the Mumba van with Charles and Margaret, and we were overwhelmed by the needs that we saw just everywhere we looked. And I asked, what is it that you need most? And Charles, do you remember what you said to us?
Yes, Rich, I remember very well because the words still have an impact on us. We said we need partners who would help us to stand on our own feet, our own 2 feet. And then we explained that we need the resources in the way of capacity building and access to funding. That just isn't available in our own country here. And I remember when you all got back to the USA, you reached out and said to us, let us build a partnership and do something important together.
That's right. That's right. That was a really powerful conversation. Margaret, what would you say are some of the highlights of our partnership these last almost 15 years?
Oh, Rich, it has been an incredible journey. You know that on the first trip, Hope School was in a run-down rented facility, and we weren't able to pay teachers' salaries. The Spark partnership helped raise the capital to build numerous facilities on our campus and fund not only teachers' salaries, but their continuing education, which is so important for the sustainability of their families. Thank you.
Yeah. And when it comes to organization sustainability, Spark's support with the strategy and funding for our local businesses, like small ones like the sewing initiatives, and larger ones like our vegetable farm, where we not only grow food for the meal programs at our school, but we're able to teach our students and our alumni about agriculture and subsistence farming. These have been so powerful and have impacted our communities. We're so grateful.
Well, we are grateful too, because Spark Ventures started because of the inspiration that we got on that trip to Zambia. And now our partnerships reach across the globe, and we are staying connected to each of our partners in purpose and spirit. You know, we took advantage of the opportunity that was in front of us on that first trip. We saw that there was an opportunity to make a difference, and we've been doing that together with Charles and Margaret and their community now for 15 years. Charles, would you like to lead folks with a call to action?
Yes, indeed. You have an opportunity to make a difference with what is in front of you tonight, and do your part to uplift communities around the world. And for us in Zambia, we're very grateful.
That is such an inspiring story every single time I hear it. 16 years and over $9 million later, Spark's work has touched countless lives around the world. Now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Laura Phillips, Spark's Program and Outreach Manager, and invite you to listen and join in on making a difference. Laura?
Hello. It's so wonderful to be a part of this incredible community. As Rich said, tonight you have an opportunity to make a difference with what's in front of you. While our trips are suspended, staying connected to our partners and supporting their mission is critical. Tonight's levels of giving are on your screen. Now's the time for us to ask the questions: what are our partners' needs and how can we help them meet those needs with action? Now, back to Kristen and John. Let's join together to harness this opportunity and take action.
Thanks, Laura, and thanks to all of you for supporting the people and programs you'll hear about next. Remember, every dollar makes a difference. Kristen?
Thank you, John. Education is an essential part of Spark's mission. $10,000 can provide a high quality education for as many as 100 students annually. For each of our partners, a donation at this level has a lasting and sustainable impact.
Make your impact now by donating to item number 101. Text Spark 22 to 76278 to make your contribution and let everyone know you understand the power of education by typing "I'm in" into the chat now. And I know that JJ's out there and she's pledged $10,000 to get us started. Who else out there tonight is going to pledge $10,000 right now? We're going to watch the chat box and see who comes in. It's technology. There may be a slow delay. You never know. Here we go. All right, here they come. All right, we have Paul Denzer and Sue Bernstein coming in. Thank you very much at $10,000. And Kathy Wolf, thank you very much coming in. We appreciate the Wolves coming in at $10,000 as well. That's $30,000 already. Who else out there is at $10,000 here for Spark tonight? Anybody else at $10,000? I know that we also have Ida Mae Taffel coming in too at $10,000. So that's $40,000 so far. Anybody else at $10,000? I think you had a text earlier as well.
Yeah, well, Nancy Allis and Erwin are in, and I believe JJ. Have we called out JJ?
Yeah, of course. We will
Yeah.
never miss JJ. $10,000 for the Allis. Thank you very much. That's $50,000 so far. Anybody else out there at $10,000? We're keeping an eye on the chat box.
All right.
Okay, we'll keep moving along at the next level. Thank you so much to everyone that put in $10,000 here. If you wait a minute, we're not finished yet. Julie's in.
Julie Toffel-Klaus is in.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
We appreciate your gift. That's $60,000 of we know of so far. Some of you may be shy out there, but if you want to let us know if you've pledged $10,000, please type it in the chat. We want everybody to see what the inspiration is tonight with Spark Ventures and you giving and knowing the work that Spark Ventures does every single day around the world. So thank you all again for $10,000.
Wow, and what an incredible way to start the start of our program. Now I would like to welcome Allison from Las Tias in Nicaragua.
Hola, mi nombre es Alison Valesca Flores Ortiz, tengo la edad de 17 años y he estado participando en el programa de las TIA durante 11 años. Me gradué de la escuela secundaria en el año 2021. La asociación Las TIAs me ha ayudado de muchas maneras tutoriándome en la alimentación, atención psicológica, atención médica, atención dental, educación y curso de formación profesional. Soy una joven muy humilde que ha visto mi vida llena de limitaciones y sacrificios, ya que siendo una familia humilde siempre buscamos la forma de estabilizar nuestro hogar en las TIAs. He participado en muchos programas para ayudarme a desarrollar habilidades para mantener a mi familia. Aprendí a hornear durante 2 años y en una de mis queridas funciones. Siendo el enfoque empresarial de las TIAs, yo solo he aprendido en mis clases de repostería para hacer y vender donas, empanadas y donitas de queso con mi papá. Este es un ingreso extra para nuestro hogar. Además de hornear, también aprendí costura, tomé clases de belleza y estudié administración de pequeñas empresas. El apoyo de las TIAs con paquetes de alimentos y clase vocacional es de gran ayuda para mí y mi familia. Además de esto, también hay una escuela de formación para padres sobre la no violencia y cómo comunicarse con sus hijos sin gritarles ni pegarles. El año pasado tomé la iniciativa de empezar a trabajar y pude conseguir un pequeño trabajito temporal en la terminal de buses de vendedora de verduras y hierbas. Utilizando mis habilidades empresariales de panadería para este trabajo y los ingresos que tienen a mi familia, mis estudios y mis necesidades personales. Mis padres dependen de sus pequeños negocios de tesorería para obtener ingresos, por lo que mis ingresos adicionales nos ayudan a salir adelante con las tarifas de nuestra pequeña casa. Este año estudiaré en el Instituto Tecnológico y mi carrera de preferencia fue estudiar diseño gráfico. Desde que tenía 8 años he querido ser diseñadora gráfica, porque es lo que ha sentido y he visto lo grande que es su arte y lo dedicado que está a crearlo. Desde muy joven siempre me ha gustado dibujar y crear cosas nuevas. Estoy emocionada de traer mis habilidades de las TIA a mi nueva carrera. Y gracias a las TIA Adventures por empoderar a estudiantes como yo.
Allison has been empowered by the support she's received for over an entire decade. Her story is just one example of how high-quality, comprehensive programs can change a life.
Right before we move on, though, Mike Campbell came in at the last second and donated $10,000. So we want to make sure to reach out to Mike and say thank you. We're up to 70,000 so far and still going. But let's see what we can do at the next level. $5,000 can empower up to 5 students like Allison each year. Type I'm in and donate to item number 102 to provide services that help students at Sparks Partners reach their full potential. Who's in at $5,000? We'll watch the chat room. Just type I'm in. Here we are. The O'Neills want to empower. I like that. All in caps. We are in. Andrea Munsami is in, of course. Thank you, Andrea. Great to see you. That's another $10,000 right there. We're already up to 80,000. Who else is joining us at the $5,000 level? The Burgoon family is in for this. I love it. Another 5,000 right there. Jen Kim is in. I love that too. Another 5,000. That's another 10,000. And growing, we're getting up there. We're nearing 100,000. Can we do it at the $5,000 level? Just 2 more will take us to 100,000. Wait a minute. Bob Buford's taking us there times 2, $10,000. We're at $100,000 already. That's amazing. Thank you, Bob Buford. He must be watching over there at Mike's apartment. Bill and June Cleary are in for $5,000 as well. Look at Mike. Mike's typing for everybody. I hope that they're actually pledging. He's just charging them. He's like, yeah, they're good for it. I love that. All right, we're above $100,000 and still growing. Anybody else out there at $5,000 before we move on to our next level?
Bill and June Cleary, did you get them?
Oh no, I did.
More.
Yeah, Bill and June Cleary. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, right. Yes, yeah, they're at 5,000. That's right. We had them. Anybody else? All right, we're gonna keep moving on. Kristen.
All right, thank you, everybody. Amazing. Spark is currently supporting over 125 students with scholarship funding for fees, transportation, uniforms, books, and supplies. Thanks to you, this year we're supporting more students than we ever have before.
With a gift of $2,500, you can support up to 10 students like Allison, making it possible for them to attend school despite their financial situation, helping them break the cycle of poverty with power of education. Type I'm in and donate to item number 103 to give at the $2,500 level now. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the chat room here. All right, Sue and John Doohan, they're in here. I love it at $2,500. All right, Rich Johnson, great, love that. Another $2,500 right there. Who else is coming in at $2,500? Kevin and Julie Cook, I love it. They're in at $2,500. Sorry to not be with you here tonight, but we love seeing you out there on the Zoom. Gary Vic, the Vics are in. I love it. Here we go. Another one. Mike didn't even twist our arms. That's good. That's good. But Mike, keep twisting the arms nonetheless. All right, $2,500. Who else at $2,500? Is there anybody else out there right now? We're going to keep watching this chat room, and let's see what else comes in.
All right. Thank you, John. What an amazing way to kick this off. And speaking of amazing, how is the premium auction doing?
That's a good question. Let's take a look. The leading bids for the exclusive bottle of Tesla tequila is up from $600. Now it's at $750. The diamond necklace is still at $1,500. So that's anybody's game. Let's see some more bids come in there. The South Carolina Isle of Palms vacation is at $5,000 now. I love that. And finally, the Deer Valley Townhome is holding at $5,000. They're neck and neck. Let's see what happens between those two groups that we have right there. You have about 10 minutes left to bid, plus or minus. What time is it? It's you have about a few minutes left to bid. Spark 22726278 to get those final bids in. We may have to adjust that a little bit looking at time. Our premium auction and raffle both close at 7:30 p.m. Central Time tonight. Keep those bids coming in.
All right. Thanks again, John. Now let's hear from Jessica at Entre Amigos in Mexico.
Mi nombre es Jessica, yo tengo 30 años, pertenezco a Entre Amigos pertenezco hace muchos más años, pero tengo 2 años que volví a regresar al grupo de mujeres y ahora pertenezco a Entre Amigos, trabajo en el área de reciclaje. Yo soy madre soltera, tengo 3 hijas, yo no cuento con el apoyo de los papás de mis hijas, yo estoy sola. Lo que yo puedo ingresar a la casa es lo que hay. No, ahorita que estamos aquí en Entre Amigos, pues yo tengo apoyo de aquí nos dan las comidas y pues con lo que gano en grupo de mujeres y pues lo del trabajo es algo que yo llevo a mi casa. Pues yo me enfermé, duré una semana con COVID. Mi hija se me enfermó, la más pequeña. De ahí siguieron las otras 2 y pues estuve sola y aquí con apoyo de aquí de Entre Amigos. Mi hija, la más grande, hace 5 años se graduó del grupo Selva. Ahorita tengo las 2 más pequeñas en grupo Selva. Pues el grupo Mujeres me gusta porque aprendemos cosas nuevas entre mujeres y enseñamos proyectos nuevos o hay ideas nuevas. Aprendemos todas, poquitos de todas. A veces me ayuda a mí en lo personal cuando tengo problemas que no sé cómo resolverlos. Pregunto a alguien de ellas y me dan consejos de cómo hacerle o cómo sobrellevar el problema. A mí lo que más me gusta son los ornamentos de corazón y los juguetes de plástico, porque es bonito que recoges una botella de plástico y la creas en algo colorido, más que puedes utilizarlo en más cosas. Pues el plan y el proyecto es de que vamos a hacer nuestro propio diseño, nuestro propio juguete que ya va a llevar como que nosotros lo hacemos. Es algo que vamos más para arriba, ¿no? Como creciendo y sacando provecho de todo lo bueno que hay aquí en Entre Amigos. Gracias a Entre Amigos y Spark Venture.
Thank you, Jessica. And boy, what another inspiring story. And next we have...
Wait a minute, Kristen, I have great news here. Not only are we extending the time a little bit because we still have some bids to come in, I know, on those silent auction items, but we're going to extend it to 7:40. So you have a little bit more time. That necklace is an opening bid of $1,500. We don't have a bid yet, but its fair market value is $4,200. So let's see if we can get somebody out there to at least bid the $1,500 tonight and come away with a great prize. But the better news is we have an amazing $15,000 match here tonight. And that means that every donation made for the remainder of the program will be doubled up to $15,000, thanks to our anonymous donor.
That is so incredibly generous. If you're waiting for the perfect time to give, now is that time.
You can donate $1,000 now to support a year of entrepreneurial programming for 2 women like Jessica. Type I'm in and donate to item number 104 at the $1,000 level. Who's out there? Oh, we have bids coming in right now. We have JC Carroll as in Mike twisted my arm. Mike, keep up the good work out there. I like it. Who else is coming in here? Anybody else at $1,000? And we have that $15,000 match. So if you give 1,000, we're getting another 1,000 automatically. I love it. Lisa Madonia is coming in at $1,000, and Constance Benrud is coming in at $1,000 as well. Who else at $1,000? Anyone else at $1,000? Dale and Cheryl Dean are coming in at $1,000. Thank you very much for your gift of $1,000. Who else will pledge $1,000 here to help us get to that $15,000 match? We're going to keep watching this chat room and see who comes in. but let's see what else we have out there. Kristen?
All right, just so exciting. Let's keep those donations coming in. Now, please join me in welcoming Chango from Hope Community School in Zambia.
My name is Chongo Milambo. I am a social worker at Hope Community School. I have been with Hope since 2018. I first came to Hope as a social work intern, where I got to meet a lot of disadvantaged children and elderly people. Helping people in doing even the littlest things gave me so much purpose and satisfaction. Due to COVID-19, our friends from Spark who do not visit us as they usually did every year. To stay connected, we began communicating digitally. Most of Hope's staff were not exposed to computers and could not operate them. As one of the few staff that could operate a computer and someone who had so much interest in technology, I taught myself how to handle computers, operate Zoom, and the equipments like the cameras and projectors. We started having small Zoom meetings, which only a handful of people could be a part of. Soon enough, Spark Ventures provided more equipment. That's how we set up and expanded our computer room to accommodate more people. Spark also provided Chromebooks for each of our teachers. Spark helps us with lessons for our students and computer lessons for the teachers. We are learning how to change our system from hard copies to digital copies, making it easier to store and share information. I have never had any formal education on ICT and technology, but my interest and exposure, it gave me a great opportunity to gain more knowledge and experience. This gave me a very big opportunity to learn new things. I learned how to operate the entire systems of virtual communication, gained more knowledge in handling the equipment, and taught most of the Hope staff and the kids how to work the computers. Knowing how to operate these systems is very vital in the modern world, as most of the things now are done on computers. And being able to pass that knowledge to the kids makes me feel so good. This knowledge has a very positive impact on not only my future, but that of the teachers and the kids too. We now have access to Chromebooks and the internet, and exposure to the equipment and educational resources makes us more advanced than most teachers in other local schools. Thank you, Hope. Thank you, Spark Ventures, for your support, and my exposure to technology has opened a new world for me. I even have more purpose and satisfaction in doing my job now, because I'm helping people with even more skills that can help them improve their lives.
Thank you, Chango. Hope's access to technology is building capacity, computer literacy skills, enhanced programming, and our virtual connections across continents have opened up a world of opportunities.
All of these videos are so inspiring, and I hope they're inspiring you out there tonight with a gift of $500 that can purchase 2 Chromebooks and build capacity with technology at Sparks Partners. Type I'm in and donate to item number 105 to give it the $500 level now. And a quick reminder, the premium auction closes at 7:40, so we have just about 5 more minutes left, and we're going to close that off. Let's see how we can get the bids there. And here are the $500 bids. They're coming in. Jeff Breeden, thank you very much, coming in at $500. And Ana's coming in at $500 as well. And Therese Fernandez is in at $500. Who else is in at this level? Who else do we have here at $500? We need to use every bit of that $15,000 pledge to match right there. I'm in. Margie's coming in at $500. I think we're up to 6,000. So we have another 9,000 to go. Who else at $500 here tonight? $500. Do we have anybody else at 500? We're going to keep watching this, but Kristen?
Sure. Yes. Thank you. And thank you to everyone for supporting these programs that have had such a profound impact on people like Allison, Jessica, and Chango. You are improving lives around the world, but also right here at home. Please welcome Shelly from We Grow in West Englewood, Chicago.
Hello, my name is Michelle Shelly Rashad, and I'm the Executive Director of We Grow Chicago. We're a community collaborative that supports families through a variety of programming. We focus on programs that reach every aspect of community life, from education to violence prevention, to job readiness, to food access, and so much more. We unite with a common mission: to unleash the skills, momentum, and contributions being held captive in our community by systemic barriers in and beyond our neighborhoods. During the pandemic, research identified West Englewood as the most digitally disconnected community in Chicago. What we know from this research and from our decades of work in this community is that our families are more likely to face barriers in employment and education due to their lack of access to internet and computer education. Even more so, we surveyed and met with our residents to learn more about what services they wanted to see on campus, and computer classes were a top request. Last summer, Spark Ventures helped us bring a longtime need to life: a computer lab for the youth, staff, and parents and budding entrepreneurs in our community. This lab has served as a valuable space for academic, personal, and professional development. Our youth use the lab for after-school enrichment, tutoring, and staying caught up with their homework. Our parents and other adults use the lab for job training and for accessing the resources they need to support themselves and their families. We are so excited for the future opportunities it will provide for our residents. Thank you to our very special Spark supporters for helping We Grow Chicago bridge the digital divide for our residents, and for helping us on our mission to grow West Englewood from surviving to thriving.
Thank you so much, Shelley. If these last couple of years have taught us anything at all, it's the importance of equal access to digital resources. Spark has made significant investments in technology at all of our partners, but there is still more work to be done.
There certainly is, and we thank everybody else. Kiva for starting us in true Spark Venture fashion and giving ×2 at the last level, $1,000. Julie at another $500. Margie at $1,000, giving ×2 as well. You can give as many times as you want and multiply as many times as you want. We're not going to miss it. So I believe we're already above or nearing 10,000. So we're getting close to that $15,000 match. Our next level is $250, and that can go a long way in bridging the digital divide for communities that Spark supports. Type I'm in and donate to this item, number 106, to give at the $250 level now. All right, who's coming in at $250? Lisa Madonia back again. All right, I love it. Michael Wade ×2 for Grandma Donna. All right, that's wonderful. Thank you. ×2. You guys can multiply as many times as you want. We do not mind. There's anybody else at $250? I know we're above 10,000 now. We're nearing that $15,000 match, and I know that we're going to get there. We've never not gotten there. Come on, the Spark community, you guys do such an amazing job. Who else out there at $250 here tonight? There we are. We Grow Chicago greatly appreciates. Oh, that's, yeah, We Grow really does appreciate, and We Grow is an amazing organization that's been added to Spark's community. Kristen, we're going to keep on moving on, but we're going to watch this chat room.
All right, thank you for your overwhelming generosity. And we can't end the night without giving you the opportunity to support a few more impactful programs. A gift at any of the levels on your screen for microloans, healthcare, and meal programming helps pave new pathways towards happier, healthier, and more secure lives.
All right, I want to make sure to thank the Dipple family and everybody else that's given, but let's see what we can do here. Let's make the most of that $15,000 match. Type I'm in and be sure to let us know which program you're supporting. Thank you for helping lift communities out of poverty and empower future leaders. Thank you to, let's see some people out there. Who's coming in at $100, $50, $25, it doesn't matter. Every level makes a huge difference. And you can give to each of the levels if you want to. Blake and Gwen are coming in. Thomas, thank you very much. I love it at $100. I love it at microloans helping out at $100. Who else is coming in? ×5. All right, Constance Benroot is back again. Microloans ×5. That's another $500. I know we're going to get to that $15,000 match. Holly and Brent Gustafson, thank you for your $50 for healthcare. Healthcare we know is extremely important right now. We've all been experiencing that the last couple of years. Parker and Kelly coming in at $100. Programming ×5. Thank you, Lisa Madonia. And I mean, everybody, we're trying to keep up with everybody. Rally Ride is in. Here we go, in for $200. I love it. Allison and friends. Rights are in for $100. Oliver, you in for $100. More microloans coming in from Anna, and Colton and Sarah are in. Everybody's coming. Uli Hine is in for another $100. I know we're going to get to that 15,000. Let's keep seeing those come in. And I'm going to keep on donating, and we're going to welcome Julie and Kevin back. Let's see what they're up to.
Thank you, John. Wow, this has all been amazing.
So on Spark community is just truly amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. It's so meaningful and impactful, all of the donations. In a few minutes, we'll let you know how much we've raised along with the raffle and premium auction winners. The silent auction will remain open until 8:30 p.m. Central Time, so keep bidding.
And if you typed I'm in, now's the time to make your donations. Continue to donate, purchase a DJ shout out, bid, and chat with friends right here while we celebrate with Chicago's very own DJ Lady D. Welcome, Lady D. Woo!
And now back to you, John.
Thank you so much, Lady D. That was so fun, and so fun to see everybody dancing in their Zoom boxes. It really made the night so much fun and so much more special. Our work is possible because of you and your generosity tonight. And now for the big announcement from Sparks Communications and Events Coordinator, Katie Gustafson.
Thank you. Tonight, we have raised over $190,000 for our partners in Chicago, Zambia, Nicaragua, and Mexico. And we're thrilled to let you know that we met our $15,000 match. We are so grateful for your overwhelming support.
You are all having a life-changing impact on the lives around the world. Thank you for staying connected with us in purpose and spirit. Our event will end in just a moment. We are so beyond grateful for your support. Thank you, everybody.